everybody, and welcome to another ASMR video here on the channel. Now tonight's video is something a little bit different. Many of you will know from my main channel videos that I am a massive football fan, and I've done fantasy football for many years, but I thought, you know what, let's combine two of my worlds, ASMR and football. So I'm going to be taking you through my team. Now I've made a fresh account so I could do this sort of from scratch, but also so I could start a league. I could have started on my other account, but I don't know, whatever, for the sake of the video. I'm just going to have two accounts that I do the same changes on, whatever. And I will put the code for the league on screen now. Even though I haven't made it, I will make it at the end of this video, and the code will again be at the end of the video, and I'll check it in the description as well. Be good if we could get a semi-decent number in there, maybe double figures and whatnot, but feel free to join. I don't think there's going to be a prize, just pride, or maybe there'll be a prize, I don't know, I'll figure something out. But I thought it would be a nice idea to sit and go through my selections. Now, I'm going to preface my selections. I am not one of those people that follow, you know, the TikTokers, the Twitter accounts that are like fantasy football experts and whatnot. I kind of like to just go off my own gut kind of thing. And secondly, some of you will know my team is Ipswich Town. Now, this year I am borderline dedicated 100% to at all times having 3 Ipswich players in my squad. Don't have to start, but just in my squad. Simply because I wanted to see us in the Premier League at least once in my lifetime. I didn't think it would happen as I was 26 so soon, so happy days. But we might go down again this season, whatever, I don't care. I want to relish every bit of being in the Premier League. And a part of that is keeping Ipswich players in my fantasy team. So, I'm going to run you through the players I've picked. And yeah, so we're going to start with my goalkeepers now. I had David Raya a lot last season, and Arsenal's defence was one of the best in the league. I do believe, if we have a look at clean sheets from last season, yeah, 16 clean sheets. And for that very reason, I know we're skipping ahead a little bit, but I've also got in Saliba as well. So I'm doubling up on Arsenal defenders, which I usually don't like doing, but simply because the defence was so strong last year. And also, Wolves at home first game, I'd back them to get a clean sheet. That's a tough game, but then they've got Brighton at home and Spurs away, so it's sort of like and Arsenal City away, but then they have Leicester and Southampton back to back, so I'll sort of alternate them in and out, but out of the first 7 games they've got minimum 3 games I think they could get. They've got a really good chance of getting a clean sheet in. And I'm not sure, like, points wise, Uriah was second only to Pickford. I did R about Pickford, but I'll show you why I haven't gone with him anyway. So my backup goalkeeper is, where is he? Have I gone past him? There we go, Petrovic. To be honest, I am hard about getting Rye, because I think it's usually worth to just have 2 4.5 million keepers, but I think having Rye just gives me that little bit of extra assurance at the back. But there's no way I'm spending more than 4.5 on a backup keeper, and to my knowledge I think Chelsea will still be starting Petrovic. Have they signed anybody else, or is Sanchez potentially going to be favoured now. Chelsea fans, let me know. But to be fair, I can always have Petrovic, and if Sanchez is the one starting, then I can bring him in for the next game, because Chelsea have Wolves, and then Palace and Bournemouth. They have quite a nice run of fixtures, so it's a good backup to alternate with David Raya. So that's my plan. Apologies, I'm like, you can barely see my eyes because of the blinding white light, but I didn't want a dark reader this site. I wanted to keep it how it usually looks. So, moving on to the rest of my defenders. Now, secondly, after Saliba, I've gone Jared Brentwaite. It sort of remains to be seen. Everton last season, I think, did pretty well, and defensively they were good. He had 13 clean sheets Tarkowski got, which is pretty crazy. But Brentwaite, came into the team, and so he got 12 clean sheets. I think just because of form last year, I want an Everton in there. They got Brighton home first game, could maybe get a clean sheet. I'd maybe take him out for game week 2. Then they've got Bournemouth at home, so 2 decent home fixtures in the first 3. So I think he's also a threat because he's so big going up the corners. I sort of hope he doesn't go to Man United. If he goes to Man United, I'm not too sure what I'll do, to be honest. Maybe I'll put Tarkowski in for Brentwaite, to be fair. At the same price, that's probably what I'll do. Next defender. I have gone for Pedro Porro, and this is pretty much because of his attacking output. I think last season, what did he do? 3 goals scored, 8 assists. I like having a mix of centre-backs and wing-backs who get forward. And Spurs defensively aren't by any means the best in the world, but I like having an attacking fullback. And then my 2 other defenders are... Let me just go to the team, save us the bother. I'm going with Munoz now. I believe he was signed in... Was it January? The January transfer window. And he got 4 assists in the half of the season, and you'd imagine he's going to be Palace's starting right back. So again, linking to these, to borrow a right back who can get forward, and Palace aren't no mugs and can occasionally, scrape the occasional clean sheet. Brentford away, not sure. West Ham at home, potentially. And then you skip ahead, they got Leicester at home. Where are they? Man United, yeah, so it's like, again, sort of on and off. But I like it. And then of course, and this isn't even like a bias, well it is a bias pick, but Leif Davis, take it from somebody. Okay, I'll give you a little bit of insider info on Ipswich if any of you are sort of planning on toying with any Ipswich players as differentials. We won't keep many clean sheets. I tell you this now, Ipswich, both teams to score in every Premier League game this season would be likely, even against City. Like, we don't often know when we're beat, and I know the golfing quality is going to be crazy, but I can see us losing quite a few games, like 4-1, 5-1, potentially, depending on if we try and actually play the way we want to play. But if you're looking for a cheap, let's have a look at defenders for 4.5 million. Okay, Anderson probably a good pick. Robinson not bad, but Fulham are a bit here. Mikalenko's decent. Burn is decent. Quanta's decent. So there are actually quite a few decent 4.5 million defenders knocking about. Van de Ven is a good shout as well. But Davis takes all of our corners, both sides. When it's from the left side, it's an outswinger. When it's from the right side, it's an in-swinger. Apologies Apologies if that was loud, but smack up the mouth. And the way we play, right, is it's almost like a diagonal back four, so our right back will very rarely get forward much, but Davis at times almost plays like a left winger and is constantly overlapping, and that's probably why we concede a fair amount of goals, but it's also why we score so many, and I forget the exact numbers, but he got so many assists, so if you want, he'd be really useful in games such as like when we play Everton at home, Southampton at home. He was so effective Southampton at home last season, which we won 3-2, so he'd be a decent 4.5 million to toy around with when we've got some kind fixtures, but I'm putting him in because he's Ipswich from the off, and I mean we've got Liverpool and Man City first 2 games, so I mean that's 2 easy clean sheets anyway, so rightio. Let's move on to the midfielders now. You know what, let's get the other 2 Ipswich players out of the way. So I have put in Wesley Burns and I have put in Amari Hutchinson. Now, Amari Hutchinson genuinely is a genuinely good fantasy pick, in my opinion. These two do have the same position, but I would imagine that Amari will play in the cam this season with Burns on the right, and I think we need to sign a left mid because Broadhead is injured and Sarmiento was on loan. Amari is so influential in the 10. Like honestly, he is gonna. I can't believe he's actually ours permanently now because he is like genuinely non-biased, one for the future, one of the best young players I've seen play in an Ipswich shirt. And Burns, we are a different team when he plays. He's so physical, he's really fast, got good feet, and he's got a powerful shot. His crossing sometimes leaves something to be desired, but realistically, if I'm looking at, 5 mil out of these, he is genuinely a good differential to have. None of these really fill me with much confidence, to be completely honest. Maybe like a Souček, Christie potentially, but I like the punch out, and Hutchinson I genuinely think is a good fantasy differential. Loves a long shot, loves take-ons, picks up assists, and really, yeah, his numbers from last season aren't that good, but his second half of the season was incredible, and I think he's only going to get better, so they're my 3 bias Ipswich picks, but you could actually justify them being in a team. Maybe not for the first 2 games though, but I'm firming it. So let's have a look at my other strikers. Let's go cheapest. So Gibbs White, 6.5 mil. I don't think you can really go wrong with 6.5 mil. Nottingham Forest have some pretty kind fixtures. They've got Bournemouth first, then they've got Southampton away, then Wolves at home. So first 3 games probably got one of the best run-ins, and Gibbs White does he take penalties and corners? I think 6.5 million is a steal, to be honest. Then I have gone for Bukayo Saka. 10 million's quite a lot, and I undernard between Saka and Son, but I think Saka is just such a consistent performer. Look at that. He's got better each year. I think he takes penalties, takes corners. Does he take? Does Odegaard take corners? I'm not sure, but anyway. I wanted Saka in. I debated Foden because you'll notice there is a distinct lack of City, but I just hate Pep Roulette, so I just stay clear. And Palmer at 10.5 is way overpriced in my opinion. I know he got the most points, but I'm not sure how he's going to play in this Maresca system. It remains to be seen. Chelsea are a bit of an unknown entity, aren't they? Which is making me doubt Benjovic, but I'll leave him for now. And then my final midfielder is Anthony Gordon. Southampton at home, first game, which, they should be winning comfortably in my opinion. They're really nice opening 5 fixtures. And again, Gordon, great season last season. They miss a few with injuries as well, so I think really if Eddie Howe doesn't take the England job and stays in Newcastle, I think if they can keep their squad fit, they'll have Denali, will they, this year? I think they're going to be super strong this year. And sticking with Newcastle, my first strike I've gone with Isak. He's just such a good footballer, and I think if he can stay fit, I think he'll have a wicked season. Honestly, I think he will. He was 5th last year. Now, the decision that everyone is making is, do you take Haaland for 15? And I'm having him in. I just am. I know if I don't have him in, I'll just regret it. And realistically, I'm not really missing out. What you could argue is you get rid of him, you could have 2 good strikers and get rid of Burns for a better midfielder, but like, I don't want to get rid of my Ipswich players, so I may as well just have Haaland. So realistically, I'm probably not going to do all that well in fantasy this year, but I'm all here for the vibes. Just getting my excuses in early, you know. But yeah, I needed a City player in, and Haaland, if fit, will play every game, so it's a somewhat of a no-brainer for me. And then my final striker is a little differential. It's Muniz. He came into the team and was actually pretty decent for Fulham. 9 goals scored last season from 19 starts, which is actually a pretty damn good return to assists as well. He probably won't make. I'll go for my starting lineup in a minute, but they have Leicester at home, and then they have us, which I don't want him to score against us, but you know, maybe we'll win 3-1, and Wes Burns will score and Amari will score, Davis will assist, and Muniz will score, and then everybody's happy. But yeah, I think a couple of nice fixtures, then they've got a home game against West Ham and another home game. I think it could be a nice little one to have, to be honest, to alternate in and out. So, that is my team. It used up 100% of the budget. So I go ahead and enter squad team name. This year I am going for turn over a new leaf. But I will say I came up with that myself, but then I saw like a thread on Ipswich Twitter, and it was one of, well, it wasn't that exactly, but there were a few leaf puns that were done, and I was like, ah, no, it just looks like I've copied, but whatever. Okay, so that is our team. Mystery chip is interesting. Playable from January 2025, so Lord knows what that's going to be. But my starting team for game week 1 is gonna be. Is that it? I think that might be it, and then I think I put Muniz there. Yep. So the controversial one is probably having Burns in for these 2, but I don't know. I don't think we'll beat Liverpool. I don't really think we will, but I just think opening day atmosphere, I think will be incredible, and I think we'll score. If I had to say a prediction, I'd probably say maybe we lose like 4-2. Maybe it's like an aging Liverpool defence. You know, we've got so much pace and whatnot. I feel we'll get goals, but I feel we'll leak a ton. But maybe like 3-1 is more realistic. But I don't know. I want 2 Ipswich players in for the first game week. We'll see how long I stick with that. And then captain wise, I am gonna I'm gonna go Isak and make Haaland vice. I think that is what that's what we're gonna do. So give me 2 ticks and I'm gonna create the league. So this is the league. Wow. Totally not cringe. So this is the code. To be honest, I might even, if I remember to, I might even put it in the corner of the video, this whole video, in which case this end segment is relatively pointless, but it's 0442FC. To join the league, obviously join ahead of the game week 1, and yeah, let's see how many people we can get there. I will do a post on the main channel as well and get as many people in as possible. So yeah, but I think that's it. I think that is going to do it for this video. So let me know what you think of my team. Who are your must-haves for this upcoming season? And are you feeling confident for this fantasy year? Last year I did okay, but not great. So I'm hoping my Ipswich players will carry me to victory. But yeah, that is going to do it for tonight's video. I really hope you did enjoy. If you did and you're able to, then please do give it a like